Okay. All right, Bewin, go ahead and do this thing for me, please. Thank you.
Namo Fundamental Teacher Sakyamuni Buddha, Namo Fundamental Teacher Sakyamuni Buddha, Namo Fundamental Teacher Sakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I've come to receive and hold it with my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the dust come once through an actual meaning.
That's good. That's really good. Right. So last time we learned about over-generalization. Okay, let's quickly review the polarized thinking. It means all or nothing, right? That means this person is look for the perfect. We call the perfectionist, right? In this world, nothing is perfect. So there's no such thing called perfect. This is too extreme. If the one who always to be perfect, that means if they make any minor mistake, they will give up easily. Okay, so this is too extreme, and the person who have this one cannot be able to motivate themselves. Okay. The second thinking, okay. So in order to counter the polarized thinking, we have to be kind to ourselves. We have to be compassionate to ourselves, and we have to be fair, right? We have to be fair to ourselves because we have done a lot of good things for ourselves. But when we make a minor mistake, and we discredit all the good thing we have done in the past, that is not fair. That's really not fair, and it's not kind. We are not compassionate to ourselves, so we have to be a little bit compassionate to ourselves, and don't look for perfect. Okay, that is the first one we learn. The second one we learn is over-generalization. It means that when we see the negative, right, we use that negative to and we overgeneralize, we jump into the conclusion across the board. That means we use it and we jump to conclusion right away, right? So we learned about this already. When we make a low score on one math test, and we jump into the conclusion that we are hopeless at math in general. That's very bad. I think we all learned all this thing already. I don't think. Okay. Okay, let's do this one right here. Okay, Becca, you want to try this one?
You want me to read the whole thing?
Yeah, please do. Thank you.
Okay. Overgeneralization. With overgeneralization, words like always, never, everything, and nothing are frequent in your train of thought. Overgeneralization has been associated with post-traumatic stress disorder and other anxiety disorders. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, is a mental health condition that's triggered by a terrifying event, either experiencing it or witnessing it. Symptoms may include flashbacks, nightmares, and severe anxiety, as well as uncontrollable thoughts about the event. Example, a depressed salesman noticed bird dung on his car window and thought, that's just my luck. The birds are always crapping on my window.
Okay. First of all, can you, what do we understand from this one right here, before we go into the example number 5?
Me?
Yeah.
It's just kind of putting everything in one bucket. So if one thing happens, you assume that everything that follows is based off of that one thing.
And also, when we look at the post-traumatic stress disorder, this is the one they said that they triggered by a terrifying event, either experience it or witnessing it. And this is usually in the past, right? This is usually in the past. And they say that it includes flashback, nightmare, severe anxiety, as well as uncontrollable thought about the event. So what do you think about this thing here?
What do I think about it?
Yeah, what they say that can you give me some example that will relate to the PTSD here?
So a lot of veterans have PTSD when they've gone to war and come back. They have flashbacks of the sounds and different things that happened.
Yeah, that's true. Yep, they witnessed the war, right? And they have a very nightmare experience, and and they also have a lot of flashback on those experience, and that will put them into this kind of easily make them to become the over-generalization. They use the negative experience, and they can use that to whenever they encounter the problem, they easily jump into the conclusion based on their past negative experience. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see. Victor, where is Serena? Victor.
She said she was finishing up some chores, so she would join late.
Okay, make sure I told you so. Andrew, you want to try number 5? Tell me what's going on. What's wrong with the number 5 here? You can read the whole thing. Read the whole thing.
Oh, you want me to read the whole thing?
No, the example number 5.
Oh, a depressed salesman noticed the bird dung on his car window and thought, that's just my luck. The birds are always crapping on my window.
What do they mean by this, and how do we change this into positive? Which one in here make you which one in here make the statement become negative?
The always.
Always, that's correct. But they say that is just my luck. Is that really luck?
I think it's just like coincidence, not really luck.
Okay. They say well, when they say that is just my luck, it doesn't mean it's my luck. It's the opposite. It means opposite. So how do we change it into positive?
Well, you just say, oh well, that's just something that happens. I don't need to care about it, I guess.
But think about it before. In order to for this kind of example like this, right? Before we change it, we can come up with something that we discredit the always, right? Well, when we say that the bird are always crapping on my window, right? Well, if we look back, how many times the bird really do that? Maybe when we look back into the past, maybe only 1 or 2 times. Maybe this is the first time anyway, or maybe this is only the second time. And if we say always, that's not fair, right? That's not true. So when we be able to reasoning like this, and we understand, oh, well, it's just maybe it's not. It's just I don't have. Maybe this is not a good day, right? So the bird crapping on my window. Well, it's a good chance for me to bring my car to the car wash, so I can have a new car wash. Something like that.
True.
Huh?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So the whole purpose in here is we have to make sure the negative thought have to be in the positive thought. So the more positive thought you have, the less suffering you get. That's important. That's important. All right. I have a list of example here that we can use for describe as for the over-generalization. Larry, you want to try the first one, maybe?
You say me?
Yeah.
I'm
Try
no
it.
good.
Try it.
I'm no good at this, therefore I'm not good at anything.
What's wrong with this thing?
The person who's saying this, they're just basing it off one thing. Like they said, I'm no good at this. They're not good at one thing, and they think that they're not good at anything.
Oh, okay. Okay. So they jump into conclusion, right?
Yes.
So how do we change it?
They could say, I'm not good at this, so maybe I can try to find out how to get better.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not good at this. Doesn't mean that I'm not good at anything, right? Maybe for example, I'm not good at tennis, but maybe I'm good at basketball, right? Something like that. So it doesn't mean that when you're not good at something, it doesn't mean that you're not good at anything. So if you be able to come up with the reason that it supports your positive statement, this is important. Okay, this is very important. So, and just like you said, I'm not good at this thing. Maybe I can try to practice more, right? So I can be better at next time. Okay, that's also another way to say it. As long as we be able to change the negative into positive, doesn't matter what kind of statement, positive statement you have. It's always good. All right. Serena, you want to try B?
Read it.
Yeah.
I made a mistake, therefore I'm a bad person.
What's wrong with this statement?
I guess they make a simple mistake and they say that they're bad, just basically.
Yeah, they come into conclusion that they say they are a bad person, right? But is that true? Is that true when we make a mistake and we become a bad person?
No, depends on the mistake.
Yeah, depend on the mistake. That's correct. But okay, then so how do we change this thing?
How do we change it?
Yeah, change to a positive.
To accept that we made a mistake and learn from it. Don't say you're a bad person, but try to make yourself a better person from your mistakes.
That's correct. That's really correct. A bad person, even the very bad person, right? The most evil person. If the bad person who have the two character, the first, okay, let me if I have it, let me I don't know, I have it here now. Hold on. Oh, I do have it here. Okay. Right. Okay. If any, this is the emotional model in Buddhism, right? I map it. So when we anger, right? When we hate someone, it will trigger the following this thing here. But anyway, in here, you see that any person who do not have inner shame, that means lack of inner shame, lack of shame before order, lack of inner shame, that means when we do bad thing, right? We don't feel bad to ourselves. When we do bad thing and we don't feel bad to order, right? This is the lack of shame before order. And you know what? If the bad person who do not have the inner shame, who do not have the shame before order, this is the most evil person. You understand that, Serena? Right? If that person do not feel remorse, that's what, because they don't have the inner shame, they don't have the shame before order. Does that make sense to you, Serena? Maybe. Okay. Are you there, Serena? Yeah. So, but when the bad person, right? If they want to become the good person, as long as they have these two characters right here, they whenever they have they do bad thing, right? They always have the inner shame inside them. They always have the thought of a shame before order. Eventually, these two right here will help them to convert them into from bad person into good person. Tammy, you understand this one, right, Tammy?
Yes.
This is the most important. So in Buddhism, they say that doesn't matter how bad person is, as long as they have these two right here, they are the one who save themselves. No one can save them, but they are the one who save themselves. So this is very important. But if the person do not have this inner shame and shame before order, they are the most evil one. We should stay away from them. If we stay nearby them, they harm us. We should run away from them. Okay? So this is important. Okay, hold on. Go too far. Okay, right here. I make a mistake, therefore I'm a bad person. Well, when we make a mistake and we admit it, right? That is the good thing. When we admit it, that means we have the inner shame. We have the shame before order. That makes us become a good person. Okay? So therefore, well, I admit my mistake. I will try the best to be to avoid this mistake in the future. Okay, so that's how we can do it. Okay, let's. Alan, you want to try this one? Number C. Tammy, you want to try number C and D? C and D together?
I never get it right, and I'm terrible at everything.
Okay, try number C first. Yeah.
I never get it right, so that means you're always wrong, and nobody's always wrong. You're gonna get some things right, and I'm terrible at everything is the same thing. You're not terrible at everything. You might be terrible in that moment. You might have done one thing wrong, but you're not terrible at everything.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's how we put the in that way. That's correct. Okay. Let's see. Alan, you want to try try the E? E. Wing, you want to try E? Wing?
E?
E, yeah.
He doesn't like me, therefore nobody likes me can be changed to he doesn't like me, but somebody on this road can.
Yeah, that means somebody still like me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. Because he doesn't like me for some reason, right? But doesn't mean that nobody like me. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Okay, that's good. Cô Hạnh Nhân, you want to try number F?
Yes, Thầy. She didn't say hello, therefore she doesn't like me. She didn't say hello, maybe she's caught up with something, in her mind. That doesn't mean that she doesn't like.
That's good. Because this thing is if a person who depressed, right, they are very sensitive. Remember that. So when we have a sensitive mind, is that a good thing or the bad thing? Cô Hạnh Nhân, what do you think?
I think don't be too sensitive.
So sensitive is not good, right? Not good at all. Because when people do just like this one right here, right? She
Right.
didn't say hello, therefore she doesn't like me, right? Because
Correct.
because this person is so sensitive.
Correct.
So too sensitive is no good. So we have to be very careful. Because sensitive, it means that we always have emotion. Emotion never good. Remember that. Don't hold on to our emotion and don't trust our emotion. Don't base on our emotion to make the decision, because if we do, it will become the disaster. Because emotion, when we base on that to make the decision, it's usually it come out wrong. And because it will become negative, right? The emotional usually is negative. So the decision will become negative, and therefore it will be very terrible, right? We don't want that. Okay, Elizabeth, you want to try G and G? You want to try G?
G?
Yeah, G. There you go.
I'm a failure.
Yeah. How do we change it?
Think of yourself positively.
What?
Think of yourself like don't always think that you're a failure. Like just tell yourself keep on trying.
Yeah, that's right. We are not always fail, right? We not always fail. Only we fail a couple of times. It doesn't mean that we always fail. Yeah, we keep trying. That's correct. We keep trying. Okay. Victor, you want to try the H? I'm ugly.
Well, I'm ugly.
Yeah. How do we change that?
Maybe just like not think about you're ugly. Just do what you want to do. Like not think about what others think of you. Just think like of yourself.
Usually the beauty is that based on the physical beauty, or based on the non-physical. Which one?
Non-physical.
Yeah, that's more important, right? The character. If we have a beautiful character, that's the most important. Doesn't matter how well the physical appearance is important, but not important when you compare to the character. The character is the most important, because when we are, let's say that we have a beautiful appearance, but if we are a bad person, no one like us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that means that person, even though he or she is very beautiful, right? She very beautiful, but she a bad person and no one like her. So beautiful become ugly, right? Same thing. So okay. All right. Let's. Andrew, you want to try number I?
Letter. I'm useless. Oh, I don't know. I guess I think like this a lot. You can try to like find something that you like to do and be like, I'm not that useless. I can do something else. Or like at least I can at least I can at least I'm the thing that makes other people happy. So like I'm not that useless.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, at least you can be able to do some. You go to school and then you can learn, right? That you are not useless. Oh, at least you can be able to help out other people. You are not useless. Oh, at least we are the good. Well, in the family, you help your parents. You help your sibling. You are not useless, right? So and this the same thing for worthless, right? The same thing. So some anyone we do have some value, right? It doesn't matter when we're talking about the chair. I'm worthless. Well, anyone, each one of us, we do have value. Okay, one way or the other. Okay, let's see. Hung, you want to do the next one, the K one? Hung?
Okay.
Dạ con. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't go perfectly, therefore I failed.
So what's wrong with this one?
It said that the person failed even when it didn't go perfectly.
So this one, what were they looking for?
I don't know.
It did not go perfectly. That means he want to look for the perfection, right? This is similar to the polarized thinking. It's also similar to polarized thinking. But remember, there is nothing in this world is perfect. Why do we want to ask for perfection? That's not fair, right? No one is perfect. So therefore, we should not look for perfect. We only try. We only try. If we expect things to be perfect, we always fail anyway, because there's no such thing called perfect. Okay. Thomas.
Chào thầy.
Okay, you can do the from L and try the L.
That always happens to me.
What's wrong with this one?
I guess an example, like if something bad happens to them, they feel like every single time it always happens to them, but like they don't learn from that mistake or anything, so they can't really move forward.
So in here, which word represent for the negative? Which word in here represent for the negative?
Always.
Yeah, always, right? But it's never, obviously it's not always, right? Only maybe it happened to you one in a while, maybe, yeah. But we come into conclusion, we say always. So how do we change it?
This sometimes happens to me, or like, I don't know, maybe this sometimes happens to me, but it's gonna be fine. Something like that.
Yeah, maybe today it's not good. Maybe I have a bad day, right? It happened. It's okay. We try our best to make sure that next time it's not happen. Yeah, something like that. Your brother there, try number M.
He is not here right now. He is in a swim meet.
I still sleep. Myself. Myself. Are you there, gone? Myself. Okay. Well, Kevin. Kevin.
Yes, Ty.
Try the M. Can you read it, Kevin?
Read which one?
M. M like Mary.
Everything is terrible.
Okay, what's wrong with this thing?
It's bad because
Which word in here is negative?
terrible.
No?
Everything.
Yeah, everything. Is that everything terrible?
No.
You really have everything terrible to your life?
Really?
Really?
No.
No, right? So the word everything is it's very negative. So how do we change it?
We can like reword it to like when something's not going your way, you can just I don't know, Ty.
Not everything is terrible. Maybe today it's well, you can say today it's not a good day. It's this thing it's come out to be a little bit terrible, but it doesn't mean that everything is terrible, right?
At that moment, it might be terrible, but it's not always terrible.
Yeah, that's right. At that moment, it's terrible because maybe it's a bad day, right? It's okay, but it's not always terrible. Remember that. So you see that, you see this is very important when we learn about this. What is so important about this is when we have the negative mind, right? And we know how to change it, we shift from the negative into positive. That make your suffering to be less. And you have less suffering instead of you have more suffering. Depend on the shifting, right? If you don't know how to shift, you don't know how to convert the negative thinking into positive, you attach to that negative thinking, you will have the negative emotion, you will be deeply suffering. And this is what makes the people become depression. This is very important. So learn about this. It looks like very simple, but if we don't know, it becomes the problem. Does it make sense to you, Ko Han Yang? What do you think?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Going through these right here, and I'm thinking about, recently, I say the last 3 or 4 years, people that are so successful, and I'm sorry, I forgot that, her name. She's a designer and she make Kate Spade. Her name is Kate Spade, yes. So successful, so rich, but yet she committed suicide. She doesn't have to worry about money like other people. She has a good living, but yet something must have gone wrong for her to commit suicide.
Wow, you've been good, very good one here. I will show you the video related to that. If I have it here.
You know who Kate Spade is, right, Kai?
I do not know. I do not know.
She makes these expensive purses and shoes. I'm not into the fashion, but I think she's a fashion designer.
Okay, well, maybe that's why I do not know.
No, when I heard the news, on the news, and I was just so surprised because there's so many people suffering because they're not financially fit like her. But yet, they go out every single day and they try their best to survive. But yet she has a lot of money, and what had driven her, to take her life, I couldn't understand.
Okay. That's a very good one. Becca, what do you think? What do you think in that scenario? Why the person commits suicide when they're so successful?
So I know a little bit about the Kate Spade scenario, and they said one of the things that she was really struggling with was her mental health when it came to her divorce and her husband. So it wasn't focused, she wasn't upset about her money or anything like that, but she had sold her company and she was getting divorced and she was worried that she would only have herself and her child. And I think sometimes a lot of people, they focus on one thing in life instead of focusing on multiple things. And so maybe that's why, even though she had other things in life that could make her happy, she just saw the one thing that she couldn't have.
Let me try to look for this one video here, and I think it's good related to what we learned. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm searching for the video that I think I have it here somewhere. I hope. Oh, I thought I have it. Huh. It's suicide. That time oh, you know what? Okay, the next time if I have it, I will show to you. Okay, this is there are a few reasons for it, but before I this is my guess. Tell me, what do you think about that scenario? Any idea?
So I'm not familiar with it, but just like she said, I've seen so many successful people here recently commit suicide. What we would see as successful because they're wealthy. But the truth of the matter is we're all here on earth together, and this is the world of endurance. So everyone here is in suffering of some sorts. Is going to affect people in different ways. But the reality of it, I've worked at many different companies, and it doesn't matter the person, if it's the person sweeping the floor or the owner of the company, everybody's undergoing some type of suffering. So even though from the outside looking in, it looks like, oh, they have the best life ever, they're successful, they're beautiful, they have everything that I could possibly want, we can't look at people that way because everybody here is in some type of suffering. And that's what we're studying this for. And that's what we've turned to Buddhism for, is to kind of try to figure out how to relieve that suffering and come out of it. But too many people don't have, or aren't blessed enough to have the Dharma or have the great teachers to help them, guide them through this world and how to come out of suffering. So in the end, that's what I would say, is that she was in suffering and she didn't have any kind of way that she could come out, any kind of guidance that was successful in helping her to see what she had and to realize that, you know, it was just a moment in time.
So basically, suffering is everyone, right? Even the poorest person or the rich person, even the president, doesn't matter who they are. They always have suffering one way or the other, right? So the happiness is not measured by the material or by what they have, right? So, and in Buddhism, the Buddha said that the first Dharma teaching the Buddha taught is the Four Noble Truths. This is the most important of all. The first noble truth we call the truth of suffering, right? The second one is the truth of the cause, the true cause of the suffering, the true cause of suffering. The third one is ending the suffering. The fourth one is the path leading to end the suffering. So the first one is the truth of suffering. We have both physical and mental, right? The physical suffering is the birth. That means when we are giving birth, right, from our mom, the baby come out. The first sound of the baby, what do we only hear the crying of the baby. No baby come out smile, right? No, only crying. Why? Because they say, I'm very suffer, right? If they know how to talk, they can say that. but basically they come out with the sound of crying. The second suffering of the physical is the old age, right? And the third one is the sickness. The fourth one is the death, right? Everyone afraid of dying, even though someone say that I would well, when I die I go to the heaven. But even though they say that, but they are afraid of dying to go to the heaven as well, right? That no one can escape this this fourth state of physical suffering. No one. The mental suffering, we also have the four different type of mental suffering. For example, our loved one depart from us, right? For example, maybe they die or they go they go away from us for a long time. It's suffer, very suffer. The second type of suffering for the mental is when we let's say that when we dislike a person, right? And we have to confront with that person every day or very often. It's very suffer. How suffer is that? When we confront with someone that we don't like, oh my goodness, it's very suffer. And the third one is whatever we want, right? We cannot get it. Whatever we expect, but we cannot get it, we suffer. That is the fourth one. That is the third one of the mental. The fourth one is the body and the mind. We call in the Buddhism, we call the body and the mind. It mean impermanent, right? But when we attach to this body, right, or attach to the feeling, attach to the perception, the thinking, and attach to the emotional, right, the psychological emotion. When we attach to those things, because it's impermanent, but we do not see as impermanent, and when it change, we suffer. You see, this is important. This is the true suffering, right? Baker, you understand the concept of the suffering in Buddhism, right?
I think so.
So no one be able to escape from this physical and mental suffering. They always have. Doesn't matter they are rich or poor. Okay. And what is the cause of all this suffering? So the true cause of the suffering is ignorance and craving. That's the only.
So Thầy, those that can't endure or don't know how to process the suffering or endure the suffering, that's why they ended their lives, so they don't have to suffer anymore?
No. That is a misunderstanding. Think about this. If we are suffering in this life, and we say that we go and to commit suicide so we can be liberated, no? How does that work? Never. If we cannot be able to handle the current situation of your main, this is the mind state, our mental state or the mind state is in the state of suffering. And doesn't matter where you go, the mind state is always there. It will be suffer even more.
That's what I'm saying, that those that ended their life, they think that by doing so, they don't have to suffer anymore.
Remember, suffering cannot come from physically. No. Where the suffering come from?
The mind.
The mind. We learn about what we are learning right now is everything comes from the mind, right? That's what we call the cognitive distortion, because that means we have the negative thinking or we have the pessimistic view, right? That's why we make the decision based on the emotion. Most of the people commit suicide always based on their emotion. They do not based on the rational thinking, but they based on the emotion. When they based on the emotion, of course, if they have extreme emotion, right, or extreme thinking, oh my goodness, they will commit suicide.
And those that did commit suicide, they're thinking by doing so, they don't have to suffer anymore.
No, that is, well, they already have the wrong thinking. That's why they commit suicide, right?
Yes, correct.
Therefore, when we have the wrong thinking and we commit suicide, of course, the result even worse when you go down there, right? Remember, when we suffering, usually we are the prison of our mind. We are the prison of our mind. If we don't know how to get out of that prison, oh my goodness, that will be terrible. That is the most scary. Right, Becca? Does it make sense? Right? Remember, in this world, yet the people who commit crime, right, they go in jail. And they do have and later on they go out and they can be able to start over. But the one who trapped in their negative thinking and they become their own prison, oh my goodness, they make a lot of very terrible mistakes. They can also commit suicide. This kind of prison is scary. It's very scary. So that's why, even though if we don't understand our mind, right, we don't understand the about the negative thinking, and we don't know how to deal with it. And when we have the negative thinking, we will have the negative emotion. If we do not know how to deal with it, we will end up just like that. This is very scary. And doesn't matter how rich you are, how well you are, it doesn't matter what kind of position, what title you have in the world. You are the president, you are the billionaire, doesn't matter. If you don't know how to take care of your mind and to deal with it and help your mind to convert the negative thinking into positive, we will rule our own life. That's why the Buddha said that the worst enemy is not from the outside, but from within the mind. The mind that we do not guard it. That means the unguarded mind, that means the one that the negative thinking, it become the automatic, right? It come up, we don't even know. We cannot even notice. We not even be able to catch. And they come up and they react right away. That is the most scary part. That is the number one enemy. The enemy from outside you can see, but the enemy within you cannot see. Right, cô Hàn Nhân? You understand that?
Thank you, Thầy.
This is important. So don't underestimate of learning about psychology in this way, because this one will help us to become a better person. One, we be able to identify the negative thinking. We be able to transform it. So the second noble truth, that means the true cause of suffering, that means ignorance and craving. As long as we attach to any kind of craving, we suffer. Material or whatever. And ignorance is mean that we lack of understand the truth, but also ignorance is mean that we attach to the self. We attach to the self, the arrogance, the ego. As long as we still have the ego and the craving, that are the one who make us suffer. So the third noble truth is ending the suffering. That means every suffering, they do have an end to suffering. How do we end the suffering? Remove the ego and remove the craving. What you have left is just a happiness. Remember, happiness not come from outside, but have to come it's within. No one can give you the happiness. The Buddha cannot give you the happiness. If we are not willing to remove the ego and not willing to detach from the craving, the Buddha cannot give you happiness. He just he a teacher, just help you, and he show you the way how to walk. He cannot walk for you. Okay, just remember that. So he lay out the teaching, and we just follow his teaching to remove the ego as well as the craving. And what we have left is the true happiness. And the true happiness or the ultimate happiness in Buddhism we call nirvana. That means it's ending all the suffering. And no more death and birth cycle. No more death and rebirth cycle. This is what we call ending suffering. And the Four Noble Truths is the path leading to ending the suffering. We have to practice the Eightfold Path. That means the Eightfold Path is right view, right understanding, or we can right view, right contemplation, or right understanding. The third one is right speech. The fourth one is the right action. The fifth one is right livelihood. The sixth one is right effort. The seventh one is right mindfulness. The eighth one is right concentration. As long as we practice the Eightfold Path, we will be able to attain the true happiness. Tell me, you understand this, right? Tell me.
Yes, I understand this.
And in the Eightfold Path, I think it later on I will walk you through in depth so you understand the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path is so important. The right view and the right understanding or the right contemplation, those two together represent the wisdom. Okay. And when we have wisdom, there is no ignorance. Ignorance will be disappear. Anyway, so you go back to this thing here. The person who make the commit suicide because they have the negative thought, right? And they don't even aware of the negative thought. And automatically they will have the negative emotion, right? And they will attach to they attach to emotion at will. And they based on the negative emotion, they make the decision. And it will lead them, the more they base, the more negative emotion they have, then the more it will push them into commit suicide. And it will fall into one of the 16, at least one of the 16 cognitive, maybe more than one type of cognitive distortion. And that's why when I tell you all this teaching is so important. This will help us. We will help us to prevent us from depression, and it will help us to have a better life. Instead of we suffer, we don't suffer because we know how to deal with it in the positive way. This is just like the lifesaver, okay? And when you have a friend who have this kind of negative thinking, you can be able to help them out. In Buddhism, when we're talking about the three different given, the fearless given is the most important. Not most, but it's more important than the material given. Remember that. Because you can save a person's life. For example, if the person who about to commit suicide and they have an affinity to come to you, right? and you have a chance to talk to them. You just become let's do this. Tell me, if let's say that the person who commit suicide thought, commit suicide thought, right? They come to you and they want to talk to you. How do we deal with it? This kind of person.
So I would first acknowledge their feelings, and tell them back, yes, I understand you feel horrible right now, or however they're feeling, but remind them that this is a moment in time, and everything will get better, even though it looks dark right now. Everything changes, so it will go from horrible to wonderful, probably back to horrible again. But just let them know that, just like we spoke about earlier, everything is not horrible, everything's not wonderful, but in the end, just let them know and help them and sit with them and be there for them while they're going through such bad feelings. But let them know their feelings, that's not who they are, and everything will get better with time.
Yeah, so we will become the good listener, right? At least when they come to us, just sit there and listen to whatever they try to say. Whatever they draw out to us, we become a good trash can for them. It's okay. So let them do the talk. So they can express or whatever they feel, right? So let them let go all the thought and all the feeling they have. At least that part help them to feel a little bit better. And secondly, after we listen, have a good listening to them, we be able to understand their mind and their emotion. And wait when the time is right, and you can advise them here and there, just little by little, not too much. And remember, this kind of when the person depressed, right, they are very sensitive. We have to be very sensitive to them too. Sensitive in the way that we can help them. Okay, so we have to be very careful with what we speak, and what the attitude that we show to them. It's love and kindness. It's the most important. This is when you be able to do this, that's how you become practice the love and kindness through your patient. And always keep in touch with them. Always follow up with them all the time, because you don't want them to be isolated. And the more isolated they have, the more bad thinking they have, and the more chance for them to put in, they go forward for the commit suicide. We don't want that. We always want to make sure that we keep in touch with them, and we keep the line, we keep our conversation line on all the time, and keep talking with them, and say that whenever you have anything you need help from me, just give me a call, or you can proactive come and talk to them. Don't wait they call you. Just say how things going. Anything okay? Do you want to talk? And if you or maybe can help them to go out, right? Take a walk, or to outside to the nature. That's more important. And also help them that if whenever they have a negative thought, help them to convert that into positive, or help them to write in just like a journal, right? Write as much as they're feeling, and that help them to do that as well. So this is important. Okay, Becca, you have anything you want to tip in?
No, I don't.
But so if we be able to help the one that trapped inside the commit suicide thought to get out that, and this is the blessing you get. It's unbelievable, because you save a person's life. Let's say that the other people can go out and use the money to help the homeless, help whatever, all the good deeds they have, non-comparable to the deeds that we save the person life. Those deeds cannot, it's not comparable to this one. Because why? The money or the labor that we use to help others, it's just the external. The external cannot compare to the internal. Okay. Okay. Anyone have a question before we end the class? Wing, you understand so far, God?
Yes.
Larry, you understand so far?
Yes, Tay.
Cô Hạnh Nhân, do you have any question?
No, thầy.
So you understand so far, right?
Yes.
Good. I wish that we continue on next week. So we will go through all the 16 at least. You will see different type of thinking, and we can address all those together. And this is the most valuable learning. You don't learn this thing elsewhere easily. Okay. So I wish that when we have a chance to sit together and learn, I hope that you can benefit from this. Okay. Okay. All right. We will today we okay. Give me 1 second. Serena, you read this one for me, Serena.
Okay. May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with heart of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, everyone. I wish you have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, thầy.
A Phật
Good luck,
thầy.
thầy. Hay